Geely's new super hybrid SUV is here. It's called the Starray EM-i and it offers heaps of EV driving range, a petrol engine for those longer trips, lots and lots of standard spec and a price that might be hard to believe. And in this review, I'm going to tell you all about it and some great alternatives to it too. So let's check it out, shall we? It's Starray time. There are two different versions of the Geely Starray available in Australia. The entry-level version is called Complete, which is maybe a bit of a strange name for the incomplete one, but it does start at a very assertive price point and it comes extremely well equipped for the cash. You're getting plenty of good gear, including full LED lighting around the car. There's 18-inch alloy wheels. You've also got rear privacy glass, keyless entry and start, heated power folding exterior mirrors. There's a 10.2-inch digital instrument cluster, a 15.4-inch touchscreen media system with sat-nav, digital radio, wireless Apple CarPlay, a 6-speaker sound system. You've got electric front seats with heating and G-Lux upholstery, fake leather. And you've also got connected services for that entry-level grade, including things like a 4G connection, live traffic, an app as well for your phone, and online media streaming too. And then up from there is the top spec version called Inspire. It adds a few $1,000s to the price, but does give you a few extra features, including these 19-inch alloy wheels, a panoramic glass roof with a sunshade, an electric tailgate, ventilated front seats, which is nice on warm days, driver's seat memory settings, a 13.4-inch head-up display, you get a wireless phone charger, a 16-speaker sound system, 256 color ambient lighting, and a center armrest in the second row. So it does come with heaps and heaps of standard spec and tech for the cash, but let's talk about some alternatives, because golly, there are some good ones. Mid-size plug-in hybrid SUV, you're now spoiled for choice. Previously you weren't, but there are heaps of different great options in this part of the market now. First one to check out is the BYD Sea Lion 6. It's been the go-to guy in this segment for a while now because it offers a lot for a little money. It starts at $42,990 for the entry-level version. There's now an extended range version which has more than 100 k's of EV driving capability, and it's about $47,000. So a little bit more than this, but it is still very well priced and very well equipped and pretty nice to drive as well. And if you're thinking, well, I'm buying an SUV that's this big, it's only got 5 seats, why not 7 seats? Well, you could have a look at the Chery Tiggo 8 Super Hybrid, which does have plug-in hybrid tech and 3 rows of seating. It's a really nice cabin in that car. Doesn't maybe have everything you might want, but it does have a low price point for a 7-seater with plug-in hybrid tech, the lowest in Australia, in fact. And finally, another car to check out in this segment is the GWM Haval H6. There's a new plug-in hybrid entry-level version that might be worth a look because the price on that one is pretty appealing as well. The H6 is a decent thing in round terms. It's got lots of space on the inside and it feels pretty good. Doesn't have maybe the greatest drive experience, but I do think that it is a pretty enjoyable thing. It does have a decent warranty as well. So what would you do? Have your say in the comments. This is a pretty tidy piece of front-end design in my opinion. It's pretty charming, in fact, in terms of the design, I reckon. What do you think? Have your say in the comments. One thing I do like about it is the fact that you do have actual door handles, which is coming hard to come by in this marketplace. Now, let's have a talk about the dimensions. It is about 4.7 meters long, so on par with lots of other mid-sized SUVs with a nice long wheelbase and pretty decent ground clearance as well, 172 millimeters. Now, we need to talk about some considerations when it comes to your weights and capacities. The payload is low, 435 kgs, so keep that in mind. It might not be one for the heavier families out there, and also keep in mind it doesn't tow. It has no capacity to tow, so that might not be ideal for your needs. But let's have a look at the boot space because it is a pretty spacious boot. Now let's have a look in the boot. I don't like that unfinished looking thing under the number plate, but excuse the roller marks from someone's bag. You do have some pretty good features in the back here. Shopping bag hooks on the side, a light under there, and on this side another shopping bag hook and a speaker. So underneath the boot floor, no spare unfortunately, but you do have space to store some cables and a tire repair kit. So I guess that's okay, but I'd love to know what you think. It looks like you could fit a space saver under there. Might be worth investing in one of those. Rightio, let's check out the interior and see what it's like. This is a bit of a perception meets reality thing in this car. The perception that you have as soon as you sit in it is that, wow, this is going to be a nice place to be. And in fact, it is. It is quite pleasant in this cabin, and it does have some good controls and usability in some ways. Some other things that might take some learning, obviously. It's a new car after all. But let's have a look around, shall we? So first and foremost, this is the top spec version. So it gets the head-up display, which is pretty handy, I have to say. And also you've got the digital instrument cluster, which is standard. And it is a decent little screen. You do have a bit of configurability in terms of being able to see different things about the car. You can check out what you've been listening to, and also your fuel consumption numbers and trip computer and tire pressure as well. Use the controls there to adjust those elements. You've got a voice control button there as well. So for instance, if I press that, it will come up with a little thing to tell me that I've pressed it. And otherwise I can just say, "Hi Geely, turn temperature down to 20 degrees. And there you go, did it. So that's pretty neat, I have to say. The voice control system in this one is pretty good, I have to say. I've been impressed with it, but back to the steering wheel for a sec. You got some more controls here, your cruise control ones there, they will take some learning. And you've also got a favorite button there. As you can see, it's set up to be the surround view camera if that's what you want it to be, and cancel button there. So here you've got a driver monitoring camera. That's what that little purple light indicates. On this side you've got a blinker and wiper stalk with high beam lights if you need it. You do have a rear wiper, which is great. And on this side you've got your gear selector. So yeah, you'll get used to that pretty quickly, I would say. And when it comes to this screen, well, it might take a little bit of learning as well. Now, you can control some elements of this car using this rotary dial. So in this particular car, it's set up to have the temperature as a dial, so you can twist it if you want to, but if you press that button, it'll also act as your volume controller, and you can set it up for different things if you want it to be. So that's neat. You can even set it up so it can change your background, which is kind of cool. But this background, I mean, there's multiple different backgrounds that you can change if you wanted to. And the menus on this screen will take some learning, people, I've got to say. So you do have like a tablet display here with a number of different menus. I do have Apple CarPlay wirelessly connected, and it's been pretty good so far, I've got to say. Like the fact that you've still got the home bar down the bottom for most of the controls that you'll need. What about drop down? No, doesn't work when you're on CarPlay. But if you go back here, you will have a drop-down menu to quickly get into some of the controls that you might want to. Changing your drive modes. You can open your fuel filler flap from the inside. Because it's a pressurized fuel tank, there's also a fast button there for that if you want it. But here you've also got other controls that you might want to quickly get into. Driver's seat ventilation. You can ask the car to do all this for you if you want to as well. And you've got some modes there as well. But what is missing from this particular screen, even if you go into the edit function, you can't adjust to include switches to turn off the safety stuff, and that could be a real problem. There's other controls on the screen here, as you can see. So if you go into your climate control system, but it doesn't seem to be able to separate the two different zones. Maybe you can, and I just haven't figured it out, but yeah, it's a bit weird. You can go on here for your seat controls again. So there's lots of different ways to get into your controls. And yes, beyond that, you've got car controls too. Plenty of different controls on this screen to get used to. For instance, I've found that learning these ones, driver assist, is the most important, and it's like diving in upon menu upon menu upon menu. So it might be tedious, people. I'm just telling you, keep that in mind if you don't like active safety technology. Now let's move on from the screen, because there's probably another 3 hours worth that we could talk on there, but we've got some other controls down here. So you can quickly turn on or off your fan if you want to. Quickly turn on or off your recirc, and put your aircon on auto, demister as well. Nice vents, they actually do throw quite a bit of air, and you've got a set of cup holders here which you can cover up if you don't want them exposed. A wireless phone charger on this side but not on that side, and in there's a little bit of extra storage. Speaking of storage, there's more down there with USB ports and a 12 volt too. There's decent sized pockets in the doors, as you can see, and this material on the seats, well, it's pretty good, I've got to say. This is the high grade version. Yes, it does have a cushion. And these seats, the thing that I don't like about it is that you can't adjust the height on the passenger side. It's got 4-way adjustment on that side and 6-way adjustment on the driver's side. So it could do with a bit more adjustment, I have to say. But hey, What do you think? Now, up here, you do have non-adjustable visors, so you can't actually pull them out, but you do have illuminated vanity mirrors, so that's cool. No grab handle up there, but grab handles everywhere else. And here you do have your controls for your sunroof if you just want to use it manually, lights as well, and a hazard button too. So yes, it does also have connected services, so it can call emergency services if you do find yourself in a real pickle, but yeah, there's no button for it per se. So yeah, I don't know. I'd love to know what you think about the interior. I think it's a pretty lovely place to sit, comfy seat, and I like the fact that in the high grade you get ventilated seats as well. But let's jump into the back seat and see what the space is like. Right, that seat is set for my 6 foot tall driving position. Look how much space I've got in front of my knees. Lots and lots. Footroom is pretty good as well. And headroom, yep, roomy. This is a spacious mid-size SUV, much more roomy than a CX-5 or something like that. So if you are looking for one that's bigger than average, this one could be a good choice. Overhead, you've got some grab handles, you've got lights as well, and you've got decent size door pockets there, soft elbow pads as well. And look, I think that it feels pretty good. You've got a nice big pocket on the seat back and on the other seat back as well. Down here you'll see you do have directional air vents, no climate zone back here, but at least you've got vents and some USB charge ports down there. A flat floor, so it will be pretty usable for families, and it does have quite a lot of space, and the seat is super comfy as well. You've got ISOFIX points in the window seats and 3 top tethers, and in the high grade version you get a flip down with some cup holders too. So certainly going to be a pretty accommodating and comfortable space. The seat, like the squish factor of the seat, is really good. I mean, it's going to be very, very amenable for occupants big and small, I would suggest. Under the bonnet of the Geely Starray is a 1.5 litre non-turbocharged 4-cylinder petrol engine which pumps out 73 kilowatts and 125 newton meters in its own right. But then there's the electric motor which pushes out 160 kilowatts and 262 newton meters. Now all combined, the maximum power output is 193 kilowatts, and it has a single speed hybrid transmission. It's front wheel drive, and the claim from 0 to 100 is 8 seconds. That's not super fast, but it does feel a bit more sprightly than that when it comes to the drive experience. Now I'll put some weights on your screen as well. The complete model is just under 1700 kilos tare and 1740 for the Inspire because it gets a few extra features. Now let's talk about the range and charging stuff that you need to know. On the curb side of the car, you will find your petrol filler cap. You have to open it with the touch screen because it is a pressurized fuel system. I'll tell you what fuel it requires later on. But on the driver's side, or the street side, is your electric filler cap. Now that might be a concern for some people because having it on that side might be inconvenient if you're a street parker, for instance. But let's talk about the charging capability here. So you do have 6 kilowatt AC charging capability, which is pretty decent. You'll see the estimated charge time on your screen for that one. And then you've got 30 kilowatt DC charging. So you will be able to pull up to a rapid charger and do 30 to 80% in about 20 minutes according to the brand. So that's not too bad at all. And if you're wondering about the battery capacity, well, it's an 18.4 kilowatt hour LFP battery offering just over 80 k's of EV driving range. Another good thing about this car though is that it can do vehicle to load at up to 6 kilowatts. So that's pretty helpful when it comes to being able to run a projector or run some camping gear if you are out and about, or even just run some elements in your house if you have a blackout. For the drive of the Geely Starray, I'm at the launch event for it. So we're in the Hunter Valley doing a mix of different driving. On the way here, we went across highway, freeway, urban, stop-start, and a whole mix of country roads as well. And some of those country roads are quite demanding. And I'm not saying that this is the cutting edge, the most convincing car in terms of the handling and the ride and so forth, but it is pretty impressive. I have to say, the driving engagement is not too bad. You do have pretty good handling. The steering, once you've turned off all the safety stuff, we'll get to that in a sec, is actually pretty good too. Direct feeling, and does have a little bit of a nibbly feel into your driving hands as well. And then there's the ride comfort, which is quite soft. Not as soft as the EX5, which is Geely's electric SUV. It is certainly a little bit more compliant and comfortable than that car, and that's because it does feel a little firmer and a little bit more controlled through the dampers. So for commuters, the comfort levels might be great, but if you do prefer a vehicle that does have a bit more control to the experience, maybe less wobble and a firmer feeling, this one might not be right for you. The powertrain is also pretty damn good. We used fully electric mode and hybrid mode as part of the drive, and I am pretty impressed with the way that it switches between the two when it thinks it needs to. And then once the battery is depleted, as I saw on this test, it will run as a hybrid and then still dip into EV mode if it thinks it can. And that means that you're getting a pretty good drive experience. It's not necessarily noisy. You can hear the engine a little bit at lower speeds, but at higher speeds it's sort of drowned out by a bit of road noise. And I will say this, the road noise in this car is way better than lots of the others in the segment. It is really quite refined. Even in some of Sydney's tunnels, it was really quiet on the inside, and I like that about it. It does make it feel a bit more of a relaxed experience. Now, you do have a few different drive modes and stuff that you can fiddle with. You've got different braking modes. There's a comfort mode or a sport mode. I would say the sport mode equates more to like a European car brake pedal feel. The comfort mode is a little bit different. I don't think either of them are amazing, but you do have regen braking that you can wick up if you want to. There's a few different modes for that too. And I do think that generally the drive experience here is pretty good, apart from the safety systems. And this has been a complaint across lots of new cars, lots of new Chinese cars in particular, that can get on your nerves. For instance, there is lane keeping assistance and it's a bit too pushy. There's a driver monitoring camera, it can get on your nerves. And you also have some speed monitoring stuff as well. And it will also slow down when you're on cruise control and you approach a corner, and it can actually slow down to a dangerous level. So that's something that I think should be improved, and I couldn't figure out how to turn it off either, and that needs to be improved as well. Really, the biggest bugbear for enthusiastic drivers might be those safety systems, because honestly they can be tedious, and the fact that they turn back on every single time you get back in means it can be really annoying to have to turn them all off again. There's no quick button to press either, and it doesn't come up on the drop-down menu to quickly switch things off. So that's a software tweak away from being acceptable, I would say. All right, so what about efficiency? Well, there are some numbers to keep in mind here. Both the official combined cycle fuel consumption figure, 2.4 litres per 100 Ks. Now, as I often say with plug-in hybrids, that's only probably realistic for the first 100, because you'll use the battery and then use less petrol. But yes, if you're wondering, there's also an official energy consumption figure for the kilowatt hours per 100 Ks. So that should give you an idea of how efficiently it can run as an EV. And it will run as an EV quite a lot. You can prioritize that obviously and make it drive as an EV would. If that's the sort of driving you're going to do a lot of, say you might use it as an EV during the week and then do some longer distance driving on the weekend or on holidays, then it will be pretty efficient in real world driving. So I like that. I don't like the fact that it has the thirst for the expensive juice. 95 RON premium unleaded is what it needs. And yes, you'll see the fuel tank capacity on your screen now. So look, the claim is just under 1,000 Ks of combined driving range. You might be able to achieve that if you are a super frugal driver. The Geely Starray doesn't have a safety rating just yet, but it does have a whole host of standard safety spec and tech. Things like autonomous emergency braking with pedestrian and cyclist detection. There is lane keeping assist, a bit annoying. You've also got emergency lane keeping. You've got to turn it off each time if you don't like it. And you've got a cruise control system with stop, start and steer too if you want to use that. And it'll even do speed sign adaptation for you. There's a driver monitoring camera system. Again, a little bit annoying, but hey, you might be fine with all this tech. You might find it helpful. I don't, personally. There's blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert. There's also a surround view camera standard, and you get rear parking sensors on the base grade, front and rear on the top spec, and plenty of other good stuff too. And 7 airbags as well. So dual front, front side, a front center airbag, and curtain coverage for both rows of seats for the window occupants. In Australia, Geely offers a 7-year unlimited kilometre warranty, and the brand also offers an 8-year unlimited kilometre warranty for the battery pack. Now that is better than lots of the other brands out there, which do have strict limitations on how many Ks they will warrant your battery for. So that is great to see, I suggest. And there's also some pretty good things when it comes to the servicing. So your service intervals, you'll see them on your screen right now, and you'll also see some other things about the pricing when it comes to the servicing. So you can do the cap price plan if you wish. I reckon that's pretty decent, and you'll also see some details about what they offer when it comes to roadside assist now too. So look, the promise is a promising one, I would say, for this car. The Geely Starray is a bit of a surprise packet. It does offer a lot of value for money and very good real-world efficiency as well. It's pretty nice to drive, apart from some of those safety features, and spacious inside too. But what do you think? Is it good enough for you? Have you say in the comments section. I'd love to hear from you. And if you wouldn't choose it, what would you pick? Let's have a conversation in the comments. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you when I see you.